Life has no limitations except the ones you make. We all need a little reminder of that every once in a while, right? That life has no limitations. Les Brown always gives you a lot of things to think about. Shout out to Les Brown. I'll drop the link in the chat right there. He gave a bunch of things in there. What do you say? He said, keep working. I wrote down some notes. Keep working. Make sure you're working towards your goal. Make sure you're working towards your dream. Again, that's kind of how we started the call anyway, right? Make sure you're being intentional about the goal, the dream, and actively pursuing it, actively going after it, right? He said we can't be overwhelmed with negative information. Man, we're about to really hit this period of negative information, right? From the political cycle, right, to all the stuff that happens in the world. Like you are about to get bombarded. Like if you haven't already felt it, you are going to feel it very soon. Negative information is all around us. It's how the media works. They drive negativity. What are you going to do to shield yourself from it so you're not overwhelmed with it? Talked about how powerful negative messaging is versus positive messaging. You got to say something 17 times over positive just to negate the one negative thought. So how much are we shielding ourselves from negative talk, from people that primarily talk negative, from the media, from all of those things, right? We can't, if we want to get to the life that we desire, we can't be filled and overwhelmed with negative thoughts, negative emotions, negative views of the world, right? You got to be hungry, said you got to be hungry. You got to be hungry. What are you hungry for? What are you fighting for? What drives you every morning? Outside of these calls, gets you a little fired up in the morning, gives you a little focus, gives you a little bit more drive. What is that internal hunger that you're after every day? You got to pinpoint that, because otherwise the seas, the storms of life, right, will blow you away if you're not focused and hungry to say, I'm going to overcome this obstacle. I know my why. So the how becomes manageable. The how becomes manageable. He talked about laughter. It's funny, in my master plan to energize and focus, I have it here because I put, I will find ways to laugh every day as laughter is good for the soul. I've been saying that over and over again. I constantly say that. Why? Because it's true. How often are you laughing through the day? How often are you finding some joy in something? You know, you can change your state very quickly by just pasting a smile on your face. You're feeling angry, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling down. You got some alone time, just paste a smile on your face. Just smile and do it for as long as you possibly can. And it'll actually change the chemistry in your body, and you will find joy. You'll laugh at something, you'll laugh at yourself, you'll feel like you're stupid. Whatever the case is, it'll change. So, are you finding ways to laugh? Again, being very intentional about these things. Negativity comes our way. Sometimes you might go through a day and not laugh and not find something funny and not, right, have that humor. Well, it's gonna benefit your life, it's gonna benefit your body if you can find ways to do that. It's good for the soul too. What I want to double click on and what we're gonna stay with is what he was talking about on the last part of that video, which is about your relationships. Ladies and gentlemen, relationships are everything. Who you're around will determine who you become. You know this. These are not things that you haven't heard me say before, you haven't heard out there. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, aka you're the average of the 5 people that have your ear the most. You might not see them, but you might be on the phone with them. You might be texting them. You're the average of those people. You're going to think about the same. You're going to make about the same money. You're going to have similar views. Like that's who you're becoming. He said something at the end. He said, right, you could either adjust to someone's pace or they can adjust to your pace. But that's the way it goes. If you're around a bunch of people that do a certain, like you're going to adjust to their pace, or they can adjust to your pace. But the key is we have to find a way to nurture good relationships. He said there's 2 types of relationships. He said there's nurturing relationships, there's toxic relationships. How aware are you of the relationships that are present in your life? How aware are you of what your toxic relationships are and what your nurturing? nourishing. There we go. Nourishing relationships are. But you got to make sure that you are focused on this. Again, I think the word today is just the intentionality. Like, let's just be intentional about some things. You can't just let life kind of take us, and the weeks get busy and the days get busy and we're in the same routine and we're mundane about things. It's really about how intentional are we day to day with controlling and designing the life that we want. And this is a huge part of it. It's about how do you build relationships. I was just having this conversation with a friend yesterday. We were talking about, as we were sitting down with somebody, we were listening to her mindset, right? We were listening to her mindset, and it was just, again, I have empathy for how people get to certain places, but man, for someone to be in their 30s, in their early 30s, and have a mindset that like they don't want to make it to 80, to have a mindset of like, hey, I'm not going to pursue anything hard in this life. I'm just going to let life take me whichever way it goes. I don't really care about having money. I don't really care about health. Like, I'm just going to kind of go through life, right? And God is going to take care of me as he will. But this is not going to be a pleasant life for you long term. And I started asking her questions about like, hey, who taught you to think this way? And she couldn't really say, but it was her environment and the people around and the things she's seen. It's what got her to think that way. We got off that call. I started talking to my buddy, and he was like, man, I really don't understand these mindsets. I used to be there, but now I've raised the bar a bit. So now the people that I used to be around, I really don't connect with them. And I was like, that's natural. Why? Because you're growing. And he was like, but now I don't have the relationships yet. I don't know kind of who to be around because I feel like I'm in this no man's land. And I was like, that's exactly right. When we shake that first layer of people, once we start to grow a bit and we start to see the mindsets of the people we're around, and we're like, hey, I actually don't want to be around those type of people. Now, before you get into the next group of people that will help pull you up, that do think like you're actually in like a no man's land where like you don't really connect with anybody, and it can get very lonely. But that's why us seeking out the relationships that we want is the key. We got to seek it out. We got to go find the people that think like us, that we want to think like, and we have to get around them. Here's what it says in the text, 177 Mental Toughness Secrets. It says the world class builds and nurtures an international network of contacts. This is just about relationships, y'all. It's about relationships. It says here, the average person sees networking and attending business and social events, passing out and picking up. The average person sees networking as attending business and social events, passing out and picking up business cards. While this is a legitimate form of networking, the world class operates on a higher level. Champions know the most valuable assets they have are their personal and professional networks. Say that again. Champions know the most valuable assets they have are their personal and professional networks. In business, you can measure the power of a player by the size of the Rolodex. Politicians are the greatest networkers on the planet. Every time they land in a different town, they call the most influential business leaders in the area who are in their network just to say hello. They are tirelessly developing, building, and maintaining relationships with the most powerful people they can reach. Professional performers are not only collecting business cards, but also handpicking exactly who they want to network with based on who can help them the most. World-class performers know most of the people who attend networking events are people hunting for business. They want to invest time networking with other members of the world class so they can strategically place themselves in world-class settings such as fundraisers, benefits, political functions, and country club outings. While the middle class collects business cards at rubber chicken dinners, the great ones build relationships with the movers and shakers of society. The difference in strategy is profound. This requires something only the world class possesses: supreme self-confidence. The middle class sees this as a crass operational strategy of using people to climb the ladder of success. The world class sees it as a symbiotic, synergistic relationship of give and take. Friends do favors, grant privileges, and create opportunities for friends. It's the emotional nature of man to want to help people who have helped him. The great ones are on a never-ending quest to develop opportunities to reach out and assist people in their network. Then, when they need help, there's a psychological debt to which world-class performers respond. The power of contacts has put more than one president in the White House and into other powerful positions. It is possible for the average person to literally propel herself into the world-class ranks by constructing a powerful network of contacts and friends. Of course, the middle class is surrounded by the same opportunity every day, yet choose to let it pass in lieu of some other activity where effort is minimal and pleasure is king. We have to, one, grow our self-confidence, because that is the root, like it says in here, that's the root for you wanting and being able to go out and shake hands and build a new network. But it is key that you have to build a new network. The people that got you to this place in life, friends, family, network, contacts, whatever they are, the people that have gotten you to this place that you've built yourself to are not going to be the same people that you know or need to get you to the next place, right? In business, we would always say, right, your wealth is going to come from the people you have not yet met. Your wealth is going to come from the people you have not yet met. Like, you haven't even met your best friend, your best business partner, the person that's going to influence your life the most. You haven't even met them yet. But here's the thing. Are you searching for them? Are you searching for them? Or you just think like they're going to fall in your lap, or I don't know, they're going to be at your job? Like, I'm not sure how you think about your contacts or your network of people. But every day I'm trying to talk to new people. Every day I'm trying to shake a new hand, because my wealth will come from the people I have not yet met. People that I know already and that, right, we have a good relationship. That's great. We help each other out where we can, but we're constantly trying to expand that network. You're constantly trying to expand your relationships. Like Les Brown said, are you evaluating? Do you have nourishing relationships or toxic relationships? The goal is to have more nourishing relationships, relationships that feed you, not that you're just constantly feeding other people and draining yourself. And you have to be the one that says, you know what? I'm going to get around some people that can feed me, that we can grow together, that want to learn, that want to grow. You have to actively seek this out. Harvey McKay here says, if I had to name a single characteristic shared by all truly successful people I've met over a lifetime, I'd say it's the ability to create and nurture a network of contacts. How good are you at relationships, ladies and gentlemen? How good are you at relationships? You got to get better. You have to get better in your relationships. You have to grow. You have to get around the people that also want to grow. This is the key. These small little things, ladies and gentlemen, these small little steps, these small tweaks in your life that change the trajectory of your life, that take you to getting to the place where you can design a life you don't need a break from. I'm going to challenge you this weekend to make a new friend. When's the last time you made a new friend? When's the last time you reached out to someone you admire? When's the last time you said, hey, I'd love to have coffee, or let's go to lunch, or just have a conversation? Call that person in your phone that gave you their number a while back and you were kind of a little scared to call, or you were a little nervous, or whatever the case is. Reach out and start a conversation. Evaluate this weekend what your relationships are like. When you start hanging out with people this weekend, evaluate. Is this a toxic relationship? Are they relatively negative? Or are they pouring into me? Is this a nourishing relationship? Am I growing from being around this person? Does this person inspire me? Am I trying to be like them in some area? Do they have a better faith life than me? Do they have a better health life? Do they have a better marriage? Are they better in their finances? Are they a better entrepreneur? Are they better than me in some area? That's why it's nourishing? Or am I constantly trying to feed them? Are they always negative? Am I always the one picking them up? Am I always the one saying, yes, like, let's go, let's make it happen? Because over time, if those are the people you surround yourself with, Les Brown told you, right? You can either match their pace or they're going to match your pace. But if you're around a lot of people that are at that pace, you're going to match their pace over time. And that's not what we're going to do. That's not the life that we are going to live in order to become the highest, grandest expression of ourselves. Go out this weekend and do something that scares you. Make a friend, change your relationship, really build something that's going to last for a long time in your life, ladies and gentlemen. I love you guys. I want you to win as always. If no one ever tells you, I will always tell you, I want you to win. You deserve to win. Your families deserve to win. You deserve to get to all of the things that you want to make happen in this life, but it takes work. It takes you changing. It takes you growing. It takes you learning. It takes you cutting off some people and adding some new friends in there, right? It takes a lot of that. So I'll drop it in the chat again, BP. You got it right there. So go out there again this weekend and make sure you are challenging yourself to grow. We'll come back next week and talk about it again. Love you guys. Have a good weekend.